Okay, so do you see my slide deck?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we had our arrival, and we have a little quiz prepared. And today it's Mary who's going to present the quiz.
So this is actually a photo that Knut took on last Saturday during an event that he joined. So the question is, can you guys give it a name? Who is this guy in the hand of this person? Anyone want to
Looks
try?
very scary. I hope it does not like human sized or something like
Is it bat? Some kind of bat?
Yes, it's a bat. And the species it's called a whiskered bat, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So the question that will be answered at the end of the call is, are bats more closely related to house mice or to primates? So try to think a bit about that and you will shortly hear the answer.
Cool.
Okay, so well, this is also what
What
you
was the
saw, a little bit of a change in
sorry,
the
what was the answer? What was the answer?
And the answer will be in the end.
So,
You can
Okay,
think
okay.
about it in the call.
yeah, it's always at the end. It's our little carrot so that people stay in the call, you know.
Okay, okay.
Um, um, Good. So we changed a little bit the order, but everything else is as announced. We're going to look into an update of the question database. Then we show you post 2.0, the activity chat, and that's more or less it for today. As an introduction, I actually repeat what I showed you already the last time, but a bit quicker. Storytelling is extremely powerful in our brains, and this is a slide that I have created from a talk from Deborah Kidd, an educator who wrote in 2017 a book, A Curriculum of Hope, which is published by now already. And she shows in this cycle that the real important point is to pick up children, actually anybody, to get people's attention. We live in an attention economy. Everybody tries to get your attention. But especially if you deal with students who are sucked all day into electronic devices and a lot of information, it is difficult for teachers to get their attention. And first, you need their attention, and then you need to create interest. And there are different avenues and vehicles, but stories have proved to be not only in the past, but also now a very powerful tool to harness long-term interest, even engagement with a project. And we need to connect stories with places, because if you practice place-based education, then stories are one of those vehicles to make them more interesting, to ignite the interest of people to learn about nature and culture. So stories facilitate human bonding to a place. That's also what we discussed in our March call. But we showed you a first version of our question database that makes it easier. And today we're going to show you a second version. And what we changed today is the route, the place, but also the story. I have just taken here 3 pictures to introduce this to you. We have a route in the north of this pilot project, in the north of this city. The part of the city is called Viehoven. And you see it's quite nice. It's a not very densely populated area with a couple of water bodies and alluvial forests. And the volunteers have chosen last year, so this was not Mary and Liuba, but the volunteers before them, they have chosen the story of the Swan Princess, which to my shame, I didn't know. It's a 1994 animated Walt Disney picture. It's a sort of a musical, which has been well received by the audience. And I researched, it is actually based on the Swan Lake. And the Swan Lake is a ballet that was composed and written by Tchaikovsky, a Russian 19th century composer, musician. And Tchaikovsky himself, most likely, it's not very clear, based this on Russian, German, and Swedish folk stories that have been transmitted orally. Some of them have been written down by the Grimm brothers, but others are really part of the oral tradition. And at the core of the story is true love, because there is an evil sorcerer who bewitches a princess. The princess turns into a swan, and only the true love of the prince, main character, is able to fend off this evil curse and transform her back into the princess, into the human being. So it is actually a really romantic and beautiful story. And it has been the plot of many, many artistic endeavors. So actually, Swan Lake, I read, is the most successful ballet ever made. Good. That's the introduction to this story. And I'm handing over here to Lucas. And the arc, we go directly into the route where we have used the story.
So I'm sharing. Good. So yeah, that's the route. Just as Knut said, with a poster and everything. And yeah, so we're not going to play this time, but we are interested about the database of questions, which is our attempt to facilitate sharing of knowledge and experience between people who design routes. So I went into the dashboard of the route, and I'm going to go to the edit mode, where I can see the overview map and all the stops that there are, together with the content that is added to them. And so we wanted to improve a bit the stop number 6, the great animal. I think, Knud, you wanted to introduce a little bit what this stop is about.
Exactly. So the great animal, is it empty right now?
Right now it's empty, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's number 6. It's Fraxinus Excelsior.
Yeah. So the great animal is an important character in the story. The story is a little bit like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So Dr. Jekyll is Sir Rothbart, an evil wizard who is very jealous of the ruling king, and he's the evil sorcerer. And when he turns into Mr. Hyde, he becomes the great animal. And the great animal is a sort of a Minotaurus. It's part bat, part what did we say? Part wolf, a wolf's head, the tail of a lizard, and what was it? And the talons of an eagle. So 4 different animals combined in one. And this is the great animal. So it appears twice in the story, and it's of course very scary for the kids watching it. So this is basically the cultural information, and this information can be added here in the info page so that we see what this is about. Actually, Lucas, I think this is my mistake, but if you switch quickly to German, we see it. Can you do that?
I don't think so. It would fall back to German. I think it was just not saved.
That was my mistake. It's not here in the English version, but it's in the German version already. So we have a little picture there, and a short description. But this is something that a school class could come up with by developing the story. The next point would be that you also ask a question about nature. And the tree here we just defined is a Fraxinus excelsior. And Lucas can now show how the new database of question works. So especially if I make an example, an arts teacher wants to develop such routes, or a German teacher interested in a story, then it's rather easy to create the story content. But maybe if you're alone and you don't have a teacher who's a biologist, you might struggle to find good questions that relate to nature. And this is what Lucas is going to show you now in the database. So we
Right.
basically enter in the search field. We enter Fraxinus excelsior.
Which is a common ash, right?
Common ash, yeah. And you see that there are 3 options of already created crowd-sourced questions. And Lucas, I think you can explain the rest, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when you click on the I button, you get a preview of what the question looks like. So you can have a better idea of what this is about. So there is the text, there's the correct answer, the wrong answers, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Is the layout, which is similar to what it looks like on the phone when people are playing. So then you choose the one which you like the most, or maybe, or what else is interesting is that here you can see how many times this question has already been used. And they are ordered by default in the most popular to the least popular. So in here, of course, all of them have only been used once so far. So let's say I'm going to go for the medical application one. So I'm going to drag it into the stop. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But maybe I want to edit it because I found, maybe I'm going to take actually the dieback disease because I can see that there is a typo. It's a common ash. So let's take this one and let's think I want to fix the typo. So I click edit. But as this is a crowdsourced database and this is not a question that I have created, the ARC tells me that the question can only be edited by its designers. You can either get in touch using the chat button below. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Or duplicate to make your own copy. So basically in here, if this is just really a typo, and I don't want to change the question a lot or, like make a lot of changes that I basically make it into a new question, I would click the chat button in here, and that would open the chat with Knut. And if there are more designers, then that would be all of the designers listed here. And tell them that there is a typo in the question. Let's fix it. So it's a basic collaboration options here. If I'm in a rush and I don't mind that I will not receive updates that Knut later makes on the question, I can just duplicate the question. And here it is. Yeah, so I will give it the name Common Ash Lucas version. Then in here, I can choose about the sharing. Now, the selected option is public, which means that the question will be added to the questions database and will be available for other quest designers to be used in their quests. So just like I did now with Knut's question, anyone will be able to do it with this one. I can also select that it is private. So then it will only be visible to me and the designers selected below. which is by default all the designers, like all the managers of the route where I'm currently editing. Or I can also choose none, which means it will not be added to the questions database. And you can use this option if the question cannot be reused in other locations. So maybe it's something that is very specific to this stop, and it doesn't make sense to have it in the database. And now I can finally fix the typo. I can check the answers. Maybe if I'm creative, I can add an answer here. And after I'm done, I pick done. And in this case, it will not be shared. In this case, it should be appearing on the left as a new option. Yeah, here it is. If I want to create something new, in the past you had to drag it from here. There was a card which was called Create New Content. So we moved that into a button up here, and you can select if you want to create a question or the info page, and you have an empty sheet of paper to start with. Of course, the built-in questions are still here, and you can use them. They are more advanced in terms like they have those pictures, right? I mean, here with Ash, probably you cannot use the cone, which, by the way, in the past it was not shown for non-conifer trees. But yeah, the built-in questions have a little bit more advanced layout. But our goal is to basically make the custom questions as the layout, add so many layout possibilities that we can basically get rid of the built-in questions and only have the question database. Yeah, just like, for example, now in the custom question, you cannot use pictures, which would be probably the first thing that we will add. Okay, yeah, then you need to confirm, and so I cannot because it's not finished. Confirm and publish, and it's online, and you can go and play. All right, that's this functionality.
Thank you, Lucas. Okay. I mean, you need to also notice that there are now an amazing 450 questions already online, crowdsourced. It's basically.
And I think I didn't unfortunately manage to resolve the duplicates, yeah, because basically I imported everything and everything became a single question. So it will go a little bit down. Yeah, it's not 450, but I think there are a lot of duplicates. Maybe it will go 50% down.
Okay. I actually counted with 150 questions, but just think about it, 150 questions. The idea is here to really kickstart the development of routes and also get an idea of how to develop it, because some people struggle with doing such a question the first time. You usually have them in the place when you observe a tree. Here you have already a sort of a help and a guidance. It definitely makes it much easier to develop a quest. That's it. I think we can go back to the slide deck here. But maybe before we do this, is there, in regard to this new or updated functionality, a question from anybody? A comment?
I mean, looks intuitive. I think it's a good development. And for the name, we call it database, right? In the documentation. It's the ARC database, or how do we refer to that
Question
officially?
database.
Questions,
Question.
database. Yeah. Actually, I was struggling, or we were struggling a little bit to come up with the names of these two tabs. Because basically the main difference is that you cannot edit these, right? Like
The
when you use
built-in
this
ones. Yeah.
one, the built-in one, you cannot edit. So and the crowdsourced ones you can edit. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think it's good name. It can maybe also be core instead of built-in, but I like it as it is.
yeah, let's see what the translators have fun with it.
yeah. I think the difference between those two sections is definitely that you can edit them or not edit them. So
Yeah.
I thought about hard-coded and editable to make a difference here. Because where they come from is rather not so important. But to get the idea now, I mean, this can of course still change. The idea is that we can work together in creating such a pool of questions, and this is really something where you can work together, collaborate in exploring nature, and you can learn from others what kind of questions do they ask. And you can apply what takes place in one commons to another commons. It's really a way to learn from each other. Okay. Then I think we go to the next functionality. Maybe I can show again the slide deck. So do you see again my slide deck?
Yes.
Good. Then I jump to the second part. That's the place-based posts. I wrote here 2.0 because we have place-based posts already quite a while. And I thought I start here with actually, this was a LinkedIn post by Benjamin Freud. He's head of upper school at the Green School in Bali. In 2017, I visited a lot of school projects, amongst them also the Green School in Bali, to understand the state of education and also reformist education. And he posted on LinkedIn that we are at the point where failing to place ecological breakdown at the center of curriculum is a child protection issue. By ignoring the collapse of planetary systems, we endanger the lives of children alive today and countless generations to come. So he made this statement. It's a much longer statement. And at the end of his post, he added this picture. And it's a picture, as you see, of a sunset in Bali. And he wrote below the pictures, from now on, all photos I attach are taken in the moment and place where I am when I post. This is to foster connection and co-create knowledge while avoiding the artificiality of generating or curating images. So we know that we have bots, we have on Facebook, meanwhile, AI generated content, which is not connecting us to the reality, but really driving a wedge between reality and ourselves. So the question is really, if we want to foster place-based learning, how can we also foster or motivate place-based exploration and communication? And this is what the second part of today's call is about. Because we also need to ask ourselves, where can I really do this? So the world's largest advertising companies are Meta, Google, Tencent, and ByteDance. They dominate social media. This is where we post, where children watch little videos. And recently, I read Jason Hickel's Less is More. This book, you might know it. He's a deep growth economist. And he writes in this book that 90% of American CEOs believe it's impossible to sell new products without an advertising campaign. He writes 51% said that advertising persuades people to buy things that they didn't actually want. Think about this. So the advertising industry is really manipulation on an industrial scale, but we mostly continue to use the usual suspects. No, I mean, most of us are still active in some way or the other on Facebook, supporting an industrial advertising giant. Most of us are active or consume videos on WeChat in China, which is owned by Tencent, or on TikTok and Douyin, which is owned by ByteDance. We work with Google because there are no better options. And indirectly, we support these for-profit companies. So it is from the very beginning of our work with the ARC, our belief that sustainability and regeneration must extend to how and where we communicate. And the posts that we show you today are such a possibility. Doesn't mean that all our communication needs to take place now on the ARC, but I think we need many more such initiatives so that we eventually come up with a new form of communication that connects us to place. I have linked here a video that I did together with Giuseppe, our first communication director, 4 years ago. I'm going to share this afterwards with you. And I'm asking Lucas to show the new posting feature.
Yep. So the way that we thought about it, and it was idea coming from Knut for a long time, was that we should simplify the posting. In the past, you had to basically go first to the place where you wanted to post and then add the location and then post. So now we also added the possibility to post inside of your own profile. So in the Me section, here you create posts like anywhere else. Besides, the only option that you have for the sharing is public. So it is clear this is a public post. And depending on the location which you select in here, it will also be shown in the places on the arc, so in the commons and ecoregions that encapsulate your position. So let's have a look at my Hello World post, which I did in Horní Údolí, which is where I am right now. And so you can post on your own profile page, but they also show it the commons and ecoregion. So let's have a look. Horní Údolí, we have a commons in here as well, which is the Zlaté hory commons. So the same message is now showing in here. So basically aggregating the activity of all users in this space. And it will also show on the ecoregion level. So if I now go into Western European broadleaf forest, I think that there will already be many other posts that people, Juba, Knut. Oh yeah, this looks familiar. And yeah, here's my post. So basically, we wanted to bring forward the fact that you are able to and encouraged to post with coordinates attached, so with a location attached to the posts, make it really about a place, and at the same time bring life to those places which can sometimes be quite separate in like self-contained and don't see the activity of the people in there. Yeah, so this is what I could show. I don't know if Knut, you had an idea, some other idea about showing this
Yeah.
in the class.
Yeah. So if you go right now to your
You said it was
chat
the
section,
Hobbits, right?
you can all navigate to your chat section, and I'm going to share here a link. I'm going to share here a link which you should find in the community symbol. So in the middle symbol.
In the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I ask you to all click on this link, interactive exercise. This link makes you.
Can you put that in the? Can you put that in the chat? Because
yeah, it is in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, you mean like in the Zoom chat?
In the Zoom chat, yeah.
So the intention was that you can also try the ARC here, but I can do it also here in the Zoom chat. Let's see if this works here.
Yeah, this works. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and?
So this should be the join class link, and you just join the class. I created a new class for this activity.
But the link you shared is to the dashboard, actually, I think.
Is to the dashboard. Then I shared the wrong link. I'm sorry, students. I shared the wrong link. Is this possible?
Yeah, it goes
so
to
you
the
get a
dashboard.
second link. I'm sharing it here. Yeah, but this is the link that I get. Copy.
Really?
Clipboard. Trying again.
Well, the invite link is in here. Invite to join class, and this is the link. Ah, yeah, Franz is already here. Perfect. Okay. So should I accept Franz?
Yeah.
Welcome to the class, Franz. Welcome, Hans. Brilliant.
Okay. So what you see here, sharing this link as a teacher with students invites them to be part of a class. But of course, you can do it for any activity like the workshop that we have on Saturday with adults. And then they are part of the class. And what I was explaining already, for example, during the training in the south of Austria, in Bad Radkersburg, is that a good first start to explore the environment is that you actually start with showing observations. And the assignment could be from a biology teacher, and the biology teacher tells their students, and I'm going to do this now in form of a chat or a post in the class. And that's what I'm going to show you now by sharing my screen. So we are now here in this class. I'm going to confirm again by refreshing that we have all the students. Is everybody here? So we have Hans. What about you, Mary? Okay, so that's the thing. So anyway, we do it with these three people here. And here in the class, we can, of course, also make posts. Going back here to the school. This is the habits that we just created. And here we can talk to each other.
In the student's view, right? We have to use the button of the student's view in the overview.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and here I could inform you and say, well, for this week, we are going to observe insects. Please make every evening a post with GPS coordinates.
Lucas, I think you have to let me in somehow. I'm not able to access this.
Mhm.
You're not able to access what?
This chat.
Mhm.
It should be working.
Where's the button that you have to push?
Yeah, the next to the name of the class. Maybe just because I just let you in, maybe you need to refresh the page.
Yeah, so Hans can
Franz.
text. We're now all connected here in this class, I think.
I'm trying to. Okay, the hobbits.
So you tried, but you cannot. Yeah. Okay.
Well, can I have. I'm now in this hobbits class
Mhm.
page with when there is posts, activities, question, people.
Mhm. On
How should
the
I?
next to the profile picture of the class, there is like a chat button. Can you see it?
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Here I am.
Yeah, this is the chat button.
Mhm. Okay, we made it.
And the same we have here.
Teacher's
So,
dashboard.
and I can add Mary that you are also here in the class.
It's super fast, but it's like, it's not really an intro, so I can set people in the person.
Yeah, but I'm adding you as an additional teacher so that we are all connected here in this. And when you go to your chat, you see the chat. And here in this community, you have seen that we are all in here. And you have seen that this is the assignment. And that would be the assignment for this week in a biology lesson. And the students could then post on me a picture of an insect. But let's assume a different situation. A geography teacher would like the students to pay attention to dangerous conditions in the traffic, which relates to geography, urban planning. And you asked the students, please post an observation with GPS coordinates about a difficult or dangerous situation in your hometown. And this would be then all shared both on me, in the community, and in Commons. So those are thinkable, possible applications of this functionality. Yeah, that's actually what I wanted to show.
Because the chat window has no close button, or I just have to click on other parts of the screen. Then it closes automatically. Okay, thank you.
I see. Yeah, maybe I should add it. That's a good feedback. Thanks.
Okay. So actually, you have seen now in the overview of the chat section that there are three different symbols. No, there is one for individual communication, peer-to-peer. There is one for communities, and there is one for activities. But the important part is that you can now create on your Me profile a post, and this post translates also into other sections. So I'm recapping a bit what today's call was about. Let me share this once more. So the POI question database allows that we have a crowdsourced database of questions. The credits go to a question designer, so it's always visible who created the question. It also shows the popularity of a question. The place-based posts make it easy to start place-based learning by sharing GPS-anchored observations with classmates and for teacher assignments across the curriculum. Again, another example that I can think of is in physics. My son lately had to learn about light, how it breaks, how the vision is of different animals, and they had to go outdoors and observe different effects of the light. Now, if you see a rainbow, you can make a picture of the rainbow, say this is where I saw it. If you encounter a glass shard that breaks the light in a special way, you can also take a picture and show that and have primary experiences communicated to your classmates and to your teacher. And of course, this way of making posts increases the interactivity and allows intuitive sharing in appropriate territories. That was the recap for today. And our next call is scheduled for June 25th, which is barely after summer solstice. I posted here also what I shared earlier, the 24 solar terms according to the Chinese calendar. We are now at May 21st, small full grain, and we're going to have the next call 4 days after summer solstice. Yeah, with this, I hand over to Mary. You want to tell us a little bit about the bats, no?
So the first thing I asked you was if bats are more closely related to house mice or to primates. Does anyone want to try to guess? Lucas.
Well, I would say the mouse.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think so too, but for the fun of it, maybe still the primate.
Okay. Nothing. Or maybe you had a spoiler when you reviewed the slides.
Huh? No, I'm not going to say anything.
Well, so can you click? Sorry. Okay. So the answer is that bats are actually more closely related to primates. Although in appearance, they of course look quite similar to mice and rats. They phylogenetically, so if we look at the phylogenetic tree on the right, you can see that bats, they are indicated by the red arrow on the bottom. They appear to the order Chiroptera. Can you click again? Sorry. On the top, there is another arrow that shows the Rodentia, to which house mice belongs. And in the middle, you can see primates. So this tree is basically showing how close our ancestors were to bats and mice. So you can see that Chiroptera on the bottom are quite close to primates, but are farther away from Rodentia. So we are more closely related to, and bats are more closely related to us than to mouse. On the next slide, you can see another nice curiosity about bats. So in general, there is a general rule in biology that for mammals, the longevity and the body mass are related in the way that the larger an animal is, the more it lives. This is only for mammals, again. So for example, elephants, they are quite big and they live a very long life. But bats are quite interesting because they defy this general rule. You can see them here in pink and gray. Many species of bats defy this rule and they can live up to 30 or 40 years. And why is this? Because they have a great immune system and a very efficient DNA repair system. And so they almost never get cancer, for example. And that's why they live much longer than expected related to their body mass. So there are actually many more curiosities about bats. They are quite interesting animals, but these are the two that I chose for today's call.
So can bats get COVID?
Come
Flying
again?
apes.
Come again?
I'm saying if bats can get COVID.
Yeah,
There was
this was
something about
actually,
COVID and bats, right?
I just recalled this. I was reading a lot of articles on epidemiology, and because there was in the beginning the theory that the bats transferred COVID, and because of their strong immune system, they're resistant to the virus, but it had been handed over to humans, and very interesting, yes.
And can I get the radar? Ecologisch. I wondered.
Okay, so this was the end of the quiz, and we just turn off now the screen and do a last sharing round before we close the call. Yeah, I'm sorry for the presentation of the post. It didn't quite work the way I thought, but what I wanted to show you is that the application for teachers is actually really great because before you start with the rather complex part of mapping a natural element or a cultural element, you can just start with observations, and the students don't have to go anymore to the school community, but they do it on their own profile, and you have it automatically also in other places. Makes it just much more spontaneous and intuitive to observe things in your environment and connect to a neighborhood or simply to the school grounds. That's the idea of the new posting functionality. So I struggled a bit to show you this.
But I think it's actually quite intuitive. I think it's a teacher stream, and I think it can be really beneficial also for the students. And I can imagine they prefer that to a bunch of papers, and it can be more easily applied when they go outside. So I totally get it. I think it's really even more rounded up solution now.
But if it's a school assignment, wouldn't you still want them to post it in the class so that you have like it's easy for you to check it? How are you going to check it?
Yeah, so this is a functionality we have not completely done that now, because currently we have an automated posting in the applicable territories. Now, if you post on me, it automatically is published also in your commons and in your ecoregion, right? But
Yeah.
there needs to be then also a switch where you want to post it. So if you're a student that belongs to a class, then the post should, of course, go into that class.
Yeah.
Yeah, currently it is only in the commons and in the ecoregion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the second application is if you travel. So lately, what did we do? We, when beginning of April, we went to the Danube area, and we passed a tree, which is in a different commons, really outstandingly large tree. We took a picture of it and posted it. It was in the past not possible to really intuitively do that. So if you travel and you cross actually different commons, different ecoregions, you can have a sort of a diary on the me section on your own profile about your observations, and they automatically also go into the territories which are affected. Yeah, so this is another application I think that is quite nice. We'll see if it is being picked up. Any thoughts from your side? No? I mean, I don't want to artificially extend the call. Then I'm doing the round again. Franz, handing over to you.
Yeah, thank you. It was very interesting to see these things progressing. I would like just to ask you, maybe we can add some more minutes for a dialogue to one-on-one, if you have time, Knut.
Okay, good.
And to others, yeah. Okay. Mary?
Thank you, Lucas, for explaining the new functionalities, and yeah, I'm sure it will be easier to create custom questions, for example. So yeah, any feedback I will text it after. Yeah, I hand it over to Luba. Again, as you last day for the sample, today we already edited some tests and it was easy to use groups of questions and create new ones. And I already tried posting any difference like the region where is no comments yet, because I was in the virus this weekend, I think it wasn't. So I just left on my page and it's there. Like easy, you know, to do it. And it was interesting to know about the bats. Okay, I'll pass it to Hans.
I think to you, Hans.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much on this progress again on place-based post, activity chat, the cards, the quests. And thank you also for the preparation of the pet quiz. It was very impressive and learned quite a bit about that. Thank you so much. Then I'm giving further to, that would be Knut.
Thank you for participating. Yeah, I'm looking forward into the next round. A positive information for us. The small things matter a lot. I reached out to a few schools here in St. Pölten, and so that we can make use of this local pilot project, because going to other places is of course not so easy for us. Even though the cooperation with the school in Krems was nice, and also accompanying them to the Czech Republic and witnessing the school exchange was a nice experience. And yesterday I got a call. There is a teacher team just at a upper secondary school next door, and they want to start the project with us. Arts teacher, biology teacher, geography teacher. So I'm looking forward to this. Having a close by school as a partner is really important. Yeah, that was it. So if it's good for you all, I'm closing the call. And thank you very much for your participation.
It's good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Bye.